Hey, well, good afternoon. Welcome to the March version of the Fireside Chat. Glad to have you guys here. We have two wonderful guests here with us.
Yay!
Yeah, this is our volunteer team, and these
That's right.
guys are amazing. I'll introduce you to them just in a minute, but let's take time to let's cover our our ground rules here for how the event's going to roll. You have a chat feature at the bottom of your screen, so if you have any questions while you're watching today's chat, make sure you just jot those down in the chat field, and our producer will write those down, and we'll try to answer as many of those as we possibly can at the end of the chat time. Also, just to let you know, we're at the end. We're going to record this event, and so we'll send out an email to you a little bit later this afternoon, or perhaps first thing on Monday morning, and you'll have the chance to review this. So, as these ladies share all kinds of incredible information, you don't need to be furiously taking notes. We're going to make sure we send that out to you once we're done with all the recording of this thing. So that would be on YouTube, and it'll be on your email to you. So let's get started. I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourselves. So we'll start with this lady here on my left, your right, and just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do for the Action Center.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Carrie Stroop, and I'm one of the volunteer managers with Monica. And during our special events, I lead up our school supplies distribution and our holiday gift shop distribution. And before COVID, I really focused on volunteers and program services. Right now, I am spending a lot of time at our new clothing bank location. So we'll talk about that a little bit more.
Right.
Okay. And I'm Monica, and my main responsibilities are to pretty much in this building still, in what we call the ACW building. So I schedule all the volunteers for this area and help carry with the other volunteers over in the other building. I support as you'll see when we get going into the thing, our special events, Beautiful Junk, and our Thanksgiving distribution. And there's just so much. I'm also responsible for all the groups, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Right. So. Good. Well, thank you. I was glad you guys are with us. It's going to be a good time. And I was going to introduce you that we have one other volunteer here on our left. We've tried an experiment about having robots as volunteers, and it just flopped miserably. It just didn't work. And so as we get started, maybe if you guys can share with us, why are volunteers so important to the mission of the Action Center? Where did it all start? Why is it such an integral part of what we do?
Yeah, well, the Action Center really was all volunteer originated, and has, with all the hard work 50 plus years ago of the volunteers, it's turned into this amazing organization. And now that we have, grown to have a great staff, we still could not pull off all the services we provide without thousands of hours of volunteer help. Yeah, so they're integral to really everything that we do.
Yeah. I always like to say we are the Action Center, but I always like to say our volunteers make it your Action Center, because it's who you are. You make this possible for the community and those we serve.
Yeah. So. And I've heard so many times from people that we serve how a volunteer just treated them so respectfully and non-judgmentally, and just was very welcoming. And so they really are the best of what we do.
Yeah.
And are important to our programs and services. Because you're right, we just couldn't do it without our volunteers.
Nope.
And so they are much appreciated and very much valued. And so that's why today what we want to do is really kind of walk you through some of the volunteer opportunities that we have. We have volunteers for individuals, for groups. We've got all kinds of schedules. And so why don't we go ahead and just jump into it. And maybe the first thing we can look at is tell us a little bit about the drive-through grocery program that we have. What kind of volunteer opportunities are there? And what do those roles do? What do they actually do when they're here volunteering?
Yeah, so we're still in our COVID operations of doing the drive-through grocery. And because we are serving so many people or families each day, it's really not feasible right now to go back inside and with all the health concerns. So we're sticking with the drive-through model, and we have volunteers from the back end, sorting food, packing bags of produce and bread. to people loading carts with the foods like shoppers used to in our grocery before. We have volunteers doing that, and they roll out the carts, and we have volunteers loading them in the bags and boxes into people's cars. We also have volunteers working our hygiene station. So when the first stop that participants make is with our hygiene, and they are able to select a hygiene product that they need before they move on to get their food. So there's, it's pretty physically active, but not always involving lifting. So there's a lot of different ways to help out.
Yeah. So Carrie, tell me, if I volunteer to be a packer in the
Uh-huh.
grocery, tell me what that looks like. I mean, what am I going to be doing? I mean, just kind of walk me through that 10 minutes of a packer.
Yeah, so you'll get a cart, and the carts are labeled with a 1, 2, or 3, and the 1 is for a family size of 1 or 2 people, and they get progressively bigger. And so the biggest families get a cart 3. And then all the coolers and all the stations where you're picking out food has a sign on it to tell you how much to give for each number of cart. And so if you're walking around with a 1, you'll just follow all the signage for the cart 1 sign and select groceries from the freezer and the cooler, and then you'll get produce bags and boxes. And it's pretty much really efficient at this point because we've been doing it now for over a year.
Yeah.
And
So you're not just arbitrarily throwing stuff into a box and say, hey, here's your goods.
no, they'll get a certain amount of frozen meat and dairy and other prepared foods, eggs, and then produce and bread. And then our non-perishable food is packed at our warehouse, which you'll hear about.
Great. So if I'm a packer, it's not like I'm picking up and lifting heavy boxes of canned goods and struggling. I'm really just pushing a cart, loading up a box, and then somebody else has to pick that up.
Yeah, we can really accommodate anybody's level. You don't have to be able to lift things. There's plenty of options, but it is mostly on your feet.
Right.
So
That is correct.
Well, that's important to know. I mean, you got to be on your feet, moving and walking around.
Yeah.
What have you. And then with the folks that are loading carts, the actual cars, are they interacting with our participants, or is it just kind of throw it in the trunk, next person kind of thing?
We want them to greet them and be really friendly and make them feel welcome. And sometimes we have flowers to offer or plants or something else bonus that you're interacting with them about. And then we usually ask people if they want the produce the food in their back seat or in their way back. So there is a little interaction there, and it's nice to see how appreciative they are.
Right. Yeah. I understand we're serving about almost 200 households
Correct.
a day.
Yep.
That's amazing. 200 households a day are coming through the Action Center for services. It just shows you that, I think this need is going to continue for a long time. This is not something that is going to just go away. This need is pretty prevalent for quite a while. So that's great. Well, you did mention warehouse. So tell me a little bit more about what goes on at the warehouse.
Well, the warehouse is a party. I've decided it's called a packing party.
Okay.
What happens over there is all the boxes that we give out here have to be packed somewhere. So over the warehouse, the volunteer opportunities are pretty much packing the boxes. So we've got it set up like where you grab a cart and you just go through and throw things in a box. So we've eliminated the heavy lifting and everything. We've just tried to make it more efficient and fast. And there's music blaring over there. The volunteers always are out having breaks. Sometimes I have to say, come on, guys. But they're actually really efficient. And so they pretty much pack the boxes over there.
So they get these really cool,
we will give to them
necklaces and stuff.
I think they're pretty spoiled over there, if you want my opinion.
Yeah.
They always say, hey, Monica, we need a new coffee machine. Okay, get it.
Right.
Right.
So tell me how many boxes, like if I'm a group, I'm assuming groups can come in, and how many boxes do I need to pack during my volunteer shift? And maybe tell me, how long is a volunteer shift? How long do I have to commit to be over there? And can I come as an individual? Is it only groups? Just fill me in a little bit more on how that all kind of comes together.
Okay. One thing about the warehouse, we can do a variety of shifts with groups. They are smaller groups right now due to COVID,
Good.
but we can accommodate groups because we have a flexible schedule over there. Even though we have set pack days, we can always adjust those if a group wanted to come in to pack boxes.
Right.
So, and what was the other one? I'm
Well,
sorry, Jen.
typically, if I'm in there for a shift, how many boxes am I trying to pack during my shift? Am I packing 5,000 boxes or? what
Hey,
am I
some of
trying to
these
do?
volunteers will pack 5,000 boxes, just so you know. No, the goal is we usually try to do about 500 a day.
Okay,
That's 2 shifts. That's the morning shift and the afternoon shift.
all right, so what's the hours of those shifts?
The morning shift is from 9:30 to 12 and the other one is from 1 to 3:30. So,
Okay,
um,
great,
yeah.
wow, sounds like a party. Can I come?
you sure can.
Okay.
Anybody can come.
Can I
It's
bring my
really
whole
fun
team?
over there. You can bring everybody.
All right, excellent. All right, well, that's
Uh-huh.
good. Well, that's our warehouse. And that sounds like a lot of fun. Certainly we want to include groups in that.
Yes,
Groups are
definitely.
always welcome. So if you have a church group or a book club or a card club, or even your company, if your
Mhm.
company wants to do some team building, it's a great way to experience some team building as your group. And Monica is a great person to connect with that. Now, once we get to the end of our talk here, we'll make sure that these ladies have their, up on your screen, we'll have their contact information
Correct.
on how they can get in touch with, how you can get in touch with one of these two.
And if you want to have if you have a competitive edge, work at the warehouse
Ah,
because they're always trying to outbeat each of the other afternoon group or the morning group. Well, they pack 250. We're going to do 300.
yeah, that's a
So,
party.
It's fun.
It's a party.
It's
All
pretty
right.
fun over there.
All right, the Monica party. I'm in.
Come on over.
So good. All right, well, let's kind of keep moving along some
Okay.
of the other programs and services that we have. Our clothing bank was a fairly small location.
Mhm.
And during COVID, serving folks, it's hard to get more than a couple people in there at a time. And so we reached out to a lot of our participants and asked them how important is clothing right now. And our participants responded back to that survey that it's a very important need that they have. And so we went out and we leased a much bigger building so that we're able to serve more folks per hour. So tell me a little bit about how that new clothing bank is working. What are the shifts? What are the roles that we need filled at the clothing bank?
Yeah, the clothing bank now looks like it's an ARC store or a Goodwill store. It is set up as a really nice shopping experience for our participants. They get shopping carts. There's plenty of room for them to move around and lots of clothes to select from. And we're so grateful to be able to provide that service. And volunteers help in a couple ways over there. We've got a morning and afternoon shift there as well from 9:15 to 12 and then from 12:45 to 3:30. And there are 2 main roles. One is helping participants as they are shopping. So that could be checking them in or checking them out or helping them find items. And then we have people working from behind the scenes, hanging clothes. So things are coming over in a already pre-sorted bin and we got to get them in hangers, sort them by size. So it's really easy to keep it well stocked over there. And we're using a lot of t-shirt bags. So we've loved all the volunteer help getting t-shirt bags sewn.
Well, wait, what is a t-shirt bag?
Okay, a
That sounds kind
t-shirt
of
bag.
interesting.
It's the best thing.
Yeah,
ever.
so sometimes we'll get t-shirts that are a little bit stained or they're from a corporate event that they had extra t-shirts from. And we sew across the bottom of the shirt and we cut off the sleeves and the neck to make it into a bag. And you can stuff a lot of clothing into those. And so people will go out with these great big stuffed full bags and really love the t-shirt bags.
Pretty cool.
And they don't break.
They
Yeah,
don't break.
And they're reusable.
I'd be taking that to the laundromat.
Yeah.
Loading up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the sorting, when you say I'm sorting clothes, what am I sorting it for? Just kind of maybe help me understand a little bit. Am I throwing it into different piles or?
So in the sorting process is when donors bring in bags or boxes, we go through each bag and box and go through it and just pick out certain items. And then we do categorize them in
Right.
certain tubs.
Yeah,
So, and right now we're focusing, just so everybody knows, on spring and summer items. We're transitioning into that. So,
good. We want to make sure it's clean, very
Correct.
usable clothing. So if you've been working under the car with your jeans, we probably are not able to get that into the hands of one of our participants.
Yeah.
correct. As we say, we like to say, when it comes in, let's have it be as much as possible as hanger ready,
Yeah,
that it can go from there right to our participants.
right.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'm not speaking out of turn, but what we need a lot of is men's clothing. Is that right?
Yeah.
We do.
Why?
Because John, like you,
Yeah.
you probably have the same Jerry Maguire jacket that you had, that leather jacket, and you still keep it, and that's what you use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Men don't always
We're
give
not
away
good.
their clothes. They don't always buy them.
Yeah.
So.
I don't recycle my clothes as well as my wife does.
Correct.
So yeah. So if you have clothing in your closet that's men's clothing, dress clothing, do we take dress clothes or just kind of everyday wear clothes or all of the above?
All of the above.
Yeah.
But we like to stay in season if possible. So
Right.
yeah.
So good. So if you have some clothing right now, it's kind of spring, summery,
Correct.
you can bring that to the dock. And what's our dock pickup hours?
They are where they can drop them
Yeah,
off.
where you can drop off your clothing and food.
Okay. They're Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday and Friday between 10 and 3.
All right.
So
10 and 3, got that.
Yep.
So come by anytime and we'd be happy to take those. You notice some of the things we do have. We do have a lot of need for hygiene items.
correct.
So it's not just food, it's just not clothing. People also need toothbrushes, toothpaste, soap. So that's another thing to grab.
That's a great project for a group of a business, a corporation or something, is to do a hygiene drive and then bring it to us.
Excellent. Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be great. There you go. Tip from the master.
Yep.
Good job, Monica. Thank you.
I know.
So now, we also do a lot of special events at the Action Center, and we do those for a lot of different reasons. But we have some really fun stuff that is on the docket, and I'll let maybe Monica tell us a little bit about one of them.
I'm so excited.
Ah, she's excited.
So I'm the volunteer manager for the Beautiful Junk, and I have to tell you, the last year and a half has been breaking my heart because I haven't been able to shop.
Yeah.
The stuff that comes in is just so much fun, and it's just fun to shop
Yeah.
and go to a place where you can get great deals.
Tell
it
us
supports the
what
Action
Beautiful
Center.
Junk is. Some of our viewers may not even know what Beautiful Junk is because we haven't done it for 3 times we've canceled
I
it.
know, it's so sad.
What is Beautiful Junk?
So Beautiful Junk is a fundraiser that the Action Center does. It is an event where we take a building or tents and put out everything that has come in here, like pictures, and then we just turn around and sell it. So it's like a large flea market.
Right.
But we have some great treasures in
Yeah.
there too. Yeah.
And are we going to do it this year?
Here we are.
Woohoo!
And I'm so excited. It's Colorado's largest rummage sale
For a cause.
for a cause.
It is awesome. So yeah, hopefully mid-September. So keep your eye on our website. Look for your emails. Look for your newsletters. If you're not on our list to receive a newsletter, by all means, give us a call so we can get you on there, because you're going to want to come to this year's Beautiful Junk.
And we're going to need so much help.
Yeah, volunteers, come back, please.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, maybe as long as we're on that topic, I mean, what does a Beautiful Junk volunteer do?
So, well, a lot of the responsibilities for the beautiful volunteers is to help us set up. We literally take an empty space and turn it into the largest rummage sale for a cause in 2 days.
Holy smokes.
It is a lot of work,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
So, and then volunteers are considered shoppers. They help price items.
Mhm.
They walk around and help people. They get to greet people, take tickets, take the money. We have cashiers. So it's a lot of busy work
Right.
and a lot of fun. And then volunteers, of course, shop. Sometimes I think that they're our biggest purchasers.
That's great. Well, yes, that's great. So keep your eye out for Beautiful Junk, and you'll get more information. I think one of the other special events that we do that I think touches a lot of people's heart is our school supply program. And Carrie, you kind of take the lead in that. Tell everybody a little bit about what that is and what volunteer opportunities you need to help make sure that happens.
Yeah, so our school supplies distribution happens in August, just to get kids all set up and ready to go for the start of school. And it'll be, we're really exciting this year because kids will be hopefully going back to school in
Yes.
person, and we can provide school supplies for 5,000 students. So it's a really big impact in the community, and volunteers turn out to really pull the whole event off with it, packing the backpacks with the supplies and for a week, and then a week of handing them out. And we made a lot of adjustments to the event for COVID, and we learned a lot, and there's going to be some things that we keep around because it may go smoother with less weight for our participants, but it was really fun for volunteers too, to greet everybody and hand out the backpacks. So we will be doing that in the first part of August. And so you'll be seeing that opportunity come out and signups for that. And we'd love to see you there.
Yeah. I mean, it's so important, I think, for the families that we help.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at what it costs to outfit a kid for school, and if I've got 2 or 3 kids, that is really
It
a
is.
lot of money out
Yeah.
of my budget. And you don't want these people to have to choose between, do I buy, you know, school supply or do I buy groceries this week?
Yeah.
And so when the Action Center is able to provide them with a backpack full of food or of school supplies, it really allows them to take that money and use it for other more
Correct.
important needs as well.
Yep.
So that's a really exciting one. You're going to want to be a part of that. So again, make sure you're on our email list. Make sure you're getting our newsletters, because that's where you're going to hear when it's time to begin the signups. For
Right.
sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, well, a couple more events. I love the holidays. They are absolutely my favorite
Yeah.
time of year. And so we have things going on during Thanksgiving and certainly things going on during the Christmas season. So
Right.
maybe tell us a little bit about Thanksgiving. Where are we doing that? How does it happen? And what do we need?
Well, first of all, it happens because we have people that support it.
Right?
Our volunteers are very supportive of the Thanksgiving distribution. So it happens this year. I can actually say,
Yep.
say it's already been in the process. It's going to be Saturday, November 21st, and it's going to be held again at Terumo Blood Cell and Technologies again. They're
Right.
our sponsors this year.
Super. Yeah. They were very generous. They're providing a space,
Yeah.
financially helping us make sure that we're able to serve. How many families do we serve?
Our goal is to serve about 5,000. We've
Wow.
been serving about 2,000 to 3,000 with
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
So it must need a lot of volunteers to make that happen.
It is.
So what
It's exciting.
what are volunteers doing at the Thanksgiving event?
They are either directing traffic,
Mhm.
they are checking volunteers in, making sure doing paperwork,
Right.
they are loading cars, they are transporting food from the truck to the area. They are pretty much whatever we need to get done is pretty much what they're doing.
Yeah.
So,
Is it a pretty serious event or can I have a little fun with it?
oh heavens, you can have a lot of fun. We ask that you be safe.
Yeah, of
obviously.
course. Yeah.
We ask that you don't run in the streets.
Good, good.
And to keep everybody safe, but we do, it is fun.
Yeah.
And we learn new things each year, how to make it more fun.
Yeah,
So-
good. Well, I heard we have a limited number of hats that look like turkey.
We
So,
do.
yeah.
So we always encourage people to dress with their Thanksgiving hats
Right.
or their ugly Christmas sweaters, you know, whatever works.
Right. It's really helping the people that are coming for a box to feel a little bit more welcomed and just enjoying the moment.
It's true.
So, and that doesn't happen without volunteers.
Correct.
So good. Well, the last thing I want to cover is really the holiday gift shop. And that's kind of your baby. And tell us how that's working this year coming up.
Yeah, so we added a adopt a family program to our last holiday shop to help deal with the COVID restrictions, and it was a huge success. So next year we'll be continuing the holiday adopt a family program. And we'll still probably need to have a holiday shop as well to serve as many people as we serve, because we serve about 5,000 kids in that program as well. And so it'll be another hybrid event, but it was so wonderful to see the amazing support that volunteers and donors gave to our adopt a family and our
Yeah.
regular program this year.
Right. Makes a huge difference in
Yeah.
a family. And when you see a child get these gifts, and it's just, yes, wonderful, as well as the smiles you see on mom's face or dad's
Yeah.
face as they are able to provide some gifts for their children during
Correct.
the holiday season.
It's a huge relief.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yes.
amazing. Well, I don't know how you guys do what you do. I mean, it's you must be handling tons and tons of volunteers. And so maybe what we can do before we go to questions, maybe tell them, how do you sign up? I mean, if I want to do this volunteering thing with you guys, what do I need to do to get on board?
Yeah, so right now, our primary mode for signing up is go to theactioncenter.org. There's a page called Get Involved, and there are 4 buttons on there for the 4 things that we've talked about, not the special events, but the 4 other basic areas. And you can just click on that and sign up. You can sign up for 1 day, 1 shift. You can sign up for multiple shifts. And if you really want to come back as a regular every week, it's good to reach out to Monica and I, and we can find a good spot for you for a regular weekly.
Right. Super.
And then if you're looking for a group activity, it is probably the best way is to reach out to Carrie, and Carrie can schedule groups as well, that you reach out one of us for a group activity.
Right.
Because there's not always a lot of slots on the sign up. So we try to tailor what projects we have coming up to groups.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good. So it's all right. We're going to send an email
Correct.
after we're done. So it's all right if I put your contact information in those?
Yeah.
You sure can.
All right. So I'll make sure you have that in your upcoming emails. So that if you'd like to reach out to these ladies for any reason, just give them a call. If you want to compliment them on their necklaces, that's fine too. So thank you for providing these.
Or a robot.
Or a robot. He does do stuff, but he just doesn't obey real well. So we're just going to keep him quiet today. So let's look at some questions. I think we had a few questions that may have come in. And so our producer here is going to share those with us. And we have a few minutes left. So Cindy is asking us, how many volunteers per day do we need? How many do we need pre-COVID? And how many do we need during COVID?
Well,
That's a
pre-COVID, we
great
were
question.
Yeah.
we were using probably 70 volunteers a day
Hmm.
pre-COVID, because our services are much more pared down. We probably have about 30 volunteers each day, spread out across the different opportunities. So we're looking forward to a day when we can bring everybody back,
Yeah.
and we can open up our program services building and really see all of our close friends and meet new ones.
Right. That'll be wonderful. So another question they had, this is kind of along the lines of what we talked about earlier, but do we have cleaning facilities here at the Action Center for the clothing that's coming into us? How do we deal with that?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I'm so glad you asked that, because when people come in to volunteer for clothing sort, they always don't realize that we have no laundry facilities.
Right.
We're not able to wash these clothes or to dry clean them. So we don't. But we do let our clothes sit over a certain period of time before we sort them.
Good.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So like she said, hanger ready clothes
Hanger ready.
is
Yeah.
what we're looking for.
Yep.
We had another one. This one's, again, this may be along your lines as well. What are the hours of the clothing bank?
Yeah, so our clothing bank is open to participants. We open at 9:30 on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and we let people come in up until about 11:30, and they can shop till noon. Then we have a lunch break, and then we open back up at 1, and people can come in until 3 and shop until 3:30. And please share that the clothing bank is open, and participants are welcome to come in and shop for themselves. There's lots of clothes to choose from. So please spread the word in the community that we're open for business.
Do participants need to make an appointment to go shopping, or is it wide open?
That's the great thing with this big store that we're in. We can let people shop. We're letting 8 people shop at a time, and there's almost never a wait.
Yeah.
And so no appointment needed, just show up, we'll get you in and get some good stuff for you.
Right. And I think that applies to our food line as well, our grocery handler. There's no appointment necessary, just drive through and we'll take care of you right away. All right, this is the mega stat question.
The mega what?
The mega stat. So hopefully you have it in your head. How many hours are volunteered each year for the Action Center?
Oh, Lordy.
It's a big number, I'm sure.
It's a very big number. And
I think it's close to, in
Well,
normal times.
in
it
the
was
normal
close
times,
to
it was like 100,000 hours.
100,000 hours. Hours.
Hours. Yep.
hours.
This year, I think we'll
Maybe a third of that.
we'll have to see before the fiscal year's over.
Could be interesting.
So
So,
will be.
but the fact that we have that many hours just shows you how much we depend on volunteers
Yeah.
to make the services happen.
Correct.
It would just be cost prohibitive for us to hire staff to replace volunteers. It just wouldn't work.
Right.
So your time is very much valued by the Action Center. Here's another question. When will we be accepting household items again at the Action Center?
Right now, we are accepting sheets, towels, blankets. So kind of those soft goods. We are handing those out at the clothing bank right now. But right now we're not accepting more. And I don't know when there's any plans to expand that.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted. Again, that's the importance of being on our mailing list for our newsletters, because that will come out bright and loud when the time comes, for sure.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Sometimes people get this a little confused. We talk about shopping and stuff. What does it cost participants to shop at the clothing bank?
Everything is free.
Everything is free.
$0.
$0.
And people can select up to 20 items per person in their family. And so it's a really big benefit for participants, and there's really nice clothing there. So it's great.
Yeah, it's exciting. So good. Well, listen, as we begin to go ahead and wrap up, I have just a couple thoughts. I'm not a volunteer coordinator, but I need some volunteers. So can I share with them a volunteer opportunity?
Yes, we'd love that.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Well,
here we go.
Here we go. Listen, every year the Action Center produces our fundraising event. It's called Where Action Matters. It's our premier event. It's a virtual event, but we need what are called Action Center champions. And I think volunteers make the best Action Center champion. And go ahead and ask me what a champion is.
What is a champion?
Thank you for asking. I'm going to tell you, a champion is somebody who really understands and believes in the value and the mission of what we're doing for our community. And what they'll do is they invite 10, 15, 20 people to come to this fundraising event we're having. Now, here's the really cool part. It will cost nothing to come to our fundraising event. Won't cost you a penny. So you can invite as many of your friends, your family, your coworkers. But that's what an Action Center champion does. It invites all these people to this event. And then while you're there, we're going to have this special little breakout room that you'll be able to talk to those people you invite, just to them. You'll have your own private room. And so if you'd like to help us we're trying to get 500 people to come to this Where Action Matters fundraising event. And so I need lots of Action Center champions to help us fill the rooms with it. Virtual room, of course. So if you're interested in that, can you reach out to development@theactioncenter.org and just let me know you'd like to have more information. And I will send you out one of these really nice instruction manuals that tells you all about what an Action Center champion is. So thank you for letting me ask people to volunteer.
Yes.
So there's always something that you can do at the Action Center.
Always.
So any closing thoughts before we kind of close up our time together?
There's just one thing I'd like to say. First of all, thank you for all the volunteers that continue to support the Action Center. The other thing is if you happen to call and you want to volunteer, please be patient, because we're always changing things. And it takes time. As Carrie and I say, this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
Right. And we need to, if we don't have something for you today, doesn't mean we will not have something for you tomorrow.
Right.
So, and the groups, same thing with the groups.
Yeah. Be patient and talk to these ladies.
Yeah. Just give us a call.
Any other thoughts before we move on?
Just how much our hearts are filled with gratitude for all the support that you all give us. And we've loved starting to see some of our volunteers pre-COVID coming back now that they're vaccinated. And it's just been a really positive month being able to see them. And
we're just waiting until we can hug them.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're getting there, right? Because Jefferson County is in the Action Center blue. So that's why we're only 3 feet apart here. We're really excited to be moving towards our new normals.
Yeah.
And so, I want to echo what Carrie and Monica have said. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for volunteering. Thank you for your interest. Please, when you get our email, share that out as wide as you can. Tell people about the mission of what's happening. And I think that would just really be so wonderful if you would help us with that. So thank you very much. Again, we'll send out an email and we'll answer any questions that we didn't have a chance. We'll make sure we answer those on the email. So thank you very much for joining me today. And we'll see you guys next month at the next Action Center's Fireside Chat. Have a great day.
Yay,
Bye-bye,
bye.
folks.